All right, we're
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Cross and Brown Hall for the second, 2023. Any changes or adoptions to the agenda? Okay, we can to adopt the agenda. Need to approve the minutes on regular meeting that happened on September 15th, 2023. Any changes or corrections?
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have representatives from EDCC. Can you repeat that?
My name is Nick Stella, so I'm Summer Manager of BDCC, California College Tech Corporation. So we do send out funding requests to our affiliate organizations every year. We use that excuse to pay visits every select board to follow up on them, but really maybe the purpose of our visit is to hear from towns if there's things that we can help with, services that we provide that you can use. We're here for the taking, regardless of whether we get funded. So what I like to do is just give a quick review of sort of who we are and what we do. And I know I sent out a one-page kind of summary of our programs, but I'd like to just kind of quick provide an update. So BDCC is a regional development corporation for one of 12 in the state, where we get a little bit of funding from the state to take care of economic development across the region. Not really sort of more like traditional economic development. So we started to realize about 15 plus years ago that in rural communities like ours, rural regions like ours, that sort of bricks and mortar economic development doesn't always do what needs to be done. We need a lot of work to be done on workforce development and also helping communities develop. So our affiliate organization, SEVIS, is Southeastern Vermont Economic Development Strategies. Spent a lot of time memorizing acronyms. So that's what that is. But basically, SEVIS is a separate organization that has a separate board and a separate budget. It has no staff. But that organization works to develop the strategies that we need to deploy across the region to help our communities be vibrant, healthy, environment. So we, because SEVIS has no staff, it contacts with BDCC to carry out the programs that we do. So, for example, the program that I run is funded through the USDA, a Rural Community Development Initiative, but we're expected to match that one for one. The funding we get from the federal government, we have to come up with people part departments to help fund that. So the SEVIS funding is used as a flexible source of funding to meet the needs where they need to be met. Sometimes you have to run a program for a couple of years before you can go out and do that with grants. So if SEVIS helps us build programs forward from year to year, it helps us when we apply for a grant and we don't get it, but the program is still doing great work. It gives us taxable funding to be able to continue. So basically, that's what SEVIS is. It has its own funding, and then it helps fund flexibly BDCC programs where that funding is needed to help us carry out the work. So that funding leads to the programs that's in the update I sent for you, so you can see, we work on. I don't know if you've seen this document. So going hot now because we're going to start working on a new one next year. But one of the things that SEVIS leads and my program will be working on a lot is going out and making sure that we're reaching the community to get input for that economic development strategy across the region. We get to go to Bennington County as well with them. So we go to a lot of towns and hear from them. So we'll be working on that. Workforce development, we work with helping to support new Americans who are willing to be part of the manufacturing workforce, and then as those people's English skills improve, filling that pipeline. We work on schools to really do workforce education to help our students understand opportunities that are out there for them and make a plan. Hopefully that includes working for long remote to believe it. We do, we do the Young Professionals Program, which is the other program that helps, young people make friends and connections and community and stay there working. And, yeah, and we did Southern Economy Project, my project, which has helped build capacity. One of the things we're doing right now is that, Sober Vermont Get on Board starts soon. We're really helping communities, sort of training a new crop of local leaders, who understand how to, what does it take to be on the select board? What does the select board do? How is that connected to what the planning commission thinks? How is that connected to the local nonprofit trying to start, do good for the community or do a trails project or whatever? We're trying to help people understand those connections. You'll see us coming back to every town. We'll send you what we kind of learned from our participants and really kind of help towns develop this for connecting all those and recruiting new people to set and upward seats. So we do a lot of different work, and we're always happy to listen to communities about what they need help and to help. So economic development is just about putting a business on the ground. It's also about helping communities with housing. They find funding for wastewater projects. I know you're working with the regional commission on a lot of that as well. They do the more community planning work, and then we help with sort of building skills and people together. So that's what we do. That's what brings me here. I'm happy to answer any questions or fears from you. Anything that we can ways we can help.
I'm interested in what you're or how you go about doing. Like high school or even middle school.
Yeah, well, at this point, we're mainly working in the high schools, but I speaking my colleague who runs that program, she's like, she would love to go as far back as middle school, but we start, we do a project right now she's working on. It's actually happening at Leland Gray on October 19th. We do this reality fair, which is really great, where it just introduces students to all kinds of different opportunities and also helps them understand, financial literacy, how to change fire. I get to go on the table on civic engagement, so we can have like stickers, drawing. Oh, look, you're a select board member. This is what you do in your town. So we really just help them understand career opportunities through that program and help kids develop, figure out what is my skill, what is my passion, and where can I put that to work. So at the moment, it's mostly through high school. So we work at BCC, Bells Falls Community School, and really enjoy programs running there that really help kids and also help them build the skills to go out and get it. Right? Like when you need to look somebody in the eye and shake their hand, actually that's something that's a learned skill for a high school student. And she really works with them on all levels, but a lot of it is for them to be able to connect sort of their skills to what is out there for them. So that's really exciting. We always excited to get to do this. It's really fun. Kind of light a spark from kids, but that's what I'm
curious about how effective are you here in our town?
Yeah, I hope that would be something more that Christy would be able to answer, because I went through that program. But she sort of has the data on how many students in each town like they're at the school. But I think it definitely is something that we're trying to create a culture also within the school of understanding that kind of education is important for students, connecting them, understanding what opportunities are out there. So she's working with that. She would connect you to her. She would say more about how the program works directly.
I didn't know the high school and middle school also had a couple of things. Yeah, it'd be nice to have that connection with like my staff, because they're doing work programs where they go into a company to work.
Yeah.
And they've already hired a couple of students, so that's the kind of hands-on.
Yes.
For those children that really need that type of rather than.
No, absolutely. I mean, you do help connect students, like kind of resources directly, connecting students directly to opportunities. And she called, all the area employers, we did, I was there in the spring, we were at the Fearless Future Summit, which is something like that, one where a lot of employers come in and just talk to the students and let them make that connection. I know they also work. That was actually a couple of Great. Do you want anyone want this? Any local leaders? Technically, my course is full. I would take someone more. Yeah,
I'll take some.
yeah. We'll still take one more person. We said we wanted 25. We have 30, and I'm like, ooh, let's take a couple more. So, and if anyone wants, this is our annual report. That's actually from last year. We have to get our snack picture taken. Look at my daughter's guy.
Do you have an extra one of that too?
So I'm sure we'll be hopefully
Thank
hearing
you.
from you guys again as we do our SEDS update next year. It's really like the phone community, so we try to have meetings that are all around. So because it's, I'm not sure we'll let more years about the Selectboard, but we want to have everyone's voices heard when we start doing the comprehensive economic development strategy and hear from people what do we need and what should we be working on and what should we all be working on together.
That, the bridge on. The front part will off coordinated about it. It's part-time position at this point, so they do finally pick somebody up.
Who would be people involved, she spends a day, she spends days a week in school.
Better, but
She's somewhere probably in that picture, there, okay. But that's good to hear that that's been a big concern here. That's really. That's long time.
Give me people.
People, and so that's what we're really working on, for getting people, and then I hope we need to all the perspective, and we want to get people that will bring somewhere that they're going to. That's why I think it's talking about roads, after this summer. Yeah, well, absolutely, and then to make that be like a good choices. Not only, well, why would you do that? It's that choice to, it's really to say, I want to be here. Great place to be. Those of us who moved back. Yeah, we've been working on bringing new Americans and also still going to the EE as well, and it's been a big program. Thank you for having us. Yeah, we'll follow up, but anything that maybe from us always like to have towns take up on our services. We may or may not, I know we need a petition fee in the morning this year to get the funding, and they may or may not have staff capacity to do that, but it doesn't matter regardless of here. And have you pick up leave our services, we like towns to help us, since we find that towns that do really good users of our services, but it doesn't I think the funding is not required, obviously, to take care. We're here for everyone. Whether or not we want to share some meeting, feel free to call us anytime you help questions and from our program with regards to organization.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Libby.
Before we move on from highway, I got a excess weight permit from PJF Trucking and Logging. So typically we just need a motion to approve that. I did let Mike know about it this morning, so it's a $10 fee for those for this year.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor of the license plate for one each year? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? On seven?
Thank you.
What's pleasure?
She's not on, but Joe talked to her about the budget meetings that we had planned for, and he won't be available on October 24th, which I think is a Monday. So we set a backup for October 30th. So he'd like to do, instead of the 24th, to do the general budget on the 30th. And then if we need to do another one, we can schedule one for the first week of November. Right. So we have the highway on the 15th and then the general on the 30th. Yeah, I'd have to check the time on what we had for the 24th. I think it was 5 o'clock. Yeah. So we'll keep it the same as what that was. No, it was just gonna be
And what was
that was on the 15th. I'm sorry, the 16th of October,
5 p.m.
5 o'clock for highway. And then Monday, the 30th, let's say 5 o'clock for the general. I haven't talked with Hardy about that. So he'll have to set a date. Yep. And the library, fire, and rescue are all going to be here on the 16th to present their budgets. Yep.
Nothing for personnel.
Any else on the other? I have a question. Is still working on.
I'm gonna come to a call.
Public comment, anybody out there?
Guys, make any progress in the Airbnb situation? Given that-
We sent out a letter, early summer, late spring, asking the owners to put like a brochure or something in their rental, just pretty much to be, friendly and aware of the neighbors, in regards to noise at night and parking in the road. We haven't heard anything good or bad from that letter. It's kind of been quiet so far. I did just go to a conference this past week and there was a vendor there that talked all about short-term rentals, and they're having a larger conference in November. So hopefully I'll learn more there on what the town can do and how much we can really enforce. It's just so tricky because, as you know, we don't have somebody in town to write tickets all the time. It's hard to enforce it. So that's quickly where that stands.
What about safety issues? Addressing that at all?
Safety as in,
Yeah.
yeah, I talked to the fire marshal a little bit. And they're short-staffed too, so it's hard to know when the place is rented and how many people and who is gonna go and check to see how many people are in the home and do those inspections.
Well, everybody is over, very busy, and very short staffed until
Yeah.
it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
And when a tragedy happens, it's perfect thing.
Yeah.
It's all done.
So last lieutenant, we didn't really get any responses in terms of people sending anything back to you or.
I haven't heard a peep
Also,
from,
there been any complaints.
Right.
Since then. There were complaints before.
there were, yeah. And I haven't heard complaints. I haven't heard any feedback from the people that I sent the letters to.
The conference that we've gone to, did they talk about towns asking Airbnbs to show that they have insurance in the proper,
It wasn't talked about last week. She just kind of promoted their organization and what they do. At the next conference, they'll dive deeper into it. There's a whole agenda of things that they talk about, and insurance is one of those.
This is a Chester.
yeah,
They require, we have to comply with like a stand, fire alarms, insurance. But they have a police force too. Yeah, so they're pretty much doing that. What do we?
Well,
Yeah,
we have like a policy in place to work on Airbnbs or have them register. Are we thinking in that vein at all?
we have no policy right now.
yeah, we have no policy. If we wanted to enforce something, we would have to have a policy.
We don't need these, I guess some of them. I know, initially. Very few of them that can barbecue. They also had to have the chimney inspected every year. I believe you. Had to have the chimney. Was inspected. Even though they tell them, don't use the fire department. You know, you leave the 3 pieces of wood around, they're using the fire department.
Yeah.
The other thing is there anybody that's not understaffed in this day? I mean, that's why I hear it's understaffed, where the fire department are understaffed. The fire department, how can you be understaffed and have something like a fire marshal? Is there anybody that is staffed?
On a fire marshal, you have an electrical inspector, then that's called the right, he went through, he, yeah, it's fine. We had renter's insurance on our policy, we have some fire policy, you know, and everybody did. Because we had a wood stove, we took that out. Because we had that in, we didn't know how to, we didn't know that. It also linked in that septic, only that it was down paying. And we do know that there's homes that have, you know, 10, 15 or 16 people. You know, so it does impact, especially in the village, with the septic. They don't have.
Right. So Kathy, how much of that in Weston is regulated by the town? I mean, like, the question about the septics and how much of that is a town ordinance and how much of it is just the company Airbnb that requires things like insurance and whatever?
Our insurance company is not, but I don't believe Weston has any kind of policy. I know they had suggestions from the state, but they've not approved any kind of policy for the town.
I don't, yeah, because
We went through our, they did pictures, they told us what we had to do, what was the cost. Pretty expensive to have that type of fire policy.
and is that required by the company with which you do business, or did you just?
No, it was required by us. Not, we go through VLD.
Airbnb does have liability insurance.
Yeah.
They require.
They have their own.
They have their own.
You're paying them a fee every time someone rents your house. That's part of the fee. You're getting their
But they didn't request
benefit of their rent.
anything that we had. It was our insurance.
So I guess just as a comment, I guess you all follow on what's going on in Chester. You know, they just put in a moratorium on new unhosted short-term rentals for 6 months. So unhosted meaning the owner doesn't live in town. And of course, they had so many complaints, not the ones where the owner is a resident, but where the owner is out of town and there's less communication and less control and stuff. So they put a moratorium. And there's a big discussion going on. The Chester Telegraph reports on that all the time, very thoroughly. And of course, the whole thing starts with having a register. You know, we don't even have that. I guess, I don't know, somehow we were able to do the research to find the 37 or whatever. Using online. Yeah, but at the very least, the town could have a requirement to register that, and then we would at least know how many we have and who's the owner.
And how to contact them. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so, I mean, that would be the minimum.
Especially for residents where,
Yeah,
you know,
right, yeah,
The Chester, just like the Chester registration form has got the number of bedrooms, the owner's contact information. They don't live in Wyndham County or Windsor County, the name of a designated local agent, insurance, you have to apply for the guidelines. And then you have to pay a fee to register a house.
yeah, that sounds like a basic minimum. And not very difficult to do.
as long as when we go through, the VLB, that they have all the information on us. You know, we meet the people, we're there. And they come in and they leave. If there's a problem, call us.
Right, and there is less of a problem with the local, like so many of ours, is not going to be. They're not, they don't really. And as far as the town, we don't even know if those houses might be unoccupied or occupied. It would be, I think, a good idea for the board to consider a basic registry. Just, like those minimum pieces of information.
No, I think it's helpful. I think it's-
The 2 days seminar in the board is not in November, talks about the town's responsibility and everything on how to manage all of that. And that's what our intention is to see what everybody else is doing in the state, to see the easiest way to do it so that people feel.
Is that a virtual seminar, Morgan? or is it-
No, I think it's all in person. Is it Burlington
2 days
again?
2 days.
on that, one time.
It's about it's mixed in
Yeah.
with the town aspect and Airbnb owners. And what you have to follow as an owner and the state regulations and what the town should be following, the state regulations.
And who was it?
I think that's the company
Uh,
that was doing it.
Vermont Short-Term Rental Alliance.
What are the dates of that?
Number 13 and 14.
I have a whole email with information and I'll send it to all of you. Yeah.
When you say the state, Amber, is that second one? Okay. Now, according to the BRB, the state, which is not, they do it all. I do know there's one town in Vermont that any sale of homes in that particular town will not be sold at the Airbnb. They do that.
And whatever.
Because they wanted families. in the village.
And a community, because you lose the community when you have just people coming and going, and they have nothing to do with the business. Oh, you're already thinking, I was shocked, I mean, not shocked, our second homeowners contributed a lot to the. They visited and volunteered. Yes. Yes, to come and go, stay there, they could keep it up. So I think that's something to think about. I'll contribute money to the owner. Building, but they might come with a car of groceries and not even do any shopping here. They sometimes do. We've seen those bags being unloaded. So that's nothing for the town.
We have all the points. Maybe you guys enjoy it.
It's not our own way.
Talk about it.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Any other comments?
So I just wanted to come and let you guys know that we're having our Prime Small Festival sale this weekend. Just a heads up, there'll be much traffic. We will probably be putting our cones out on the yellow line just to make sure people are aware of the people passing or getting out of the station. That'll be from 9 to 3 on Saturday and 9 to 1 roughly. Traffic Sunday afternoon. Increased by that as well.
I hope you're having sale.
So, a lot of stuff.
So when is the latest that you do accept donations?
Thursday at 1. We have some one days. More donations than ever.
So that's base.
Yep. They're organizing and everything that.
We're gonna get to.
It's fascinating how much stuff you can put under those tents. That's all I'm gonna say.
In this issue, it's a small town.
I see the outside.
Yeah, well, we always have stuff outside, so we just kind of have a pile right now, because I want the lawn to dry out, and we may lay it out. And we bought a tent out for. Amazing, everyone asks, how much do you start with, and I'm like, 0, we don't save anything, and we don't start with anything left over. If it's all in, we have 2 weeks. I don't know.
If there's no one other time that meeting, it's on Monday, the 16th, that's it. And we need a motion for the,
So moved.
everybody have a good night.
Thank you, Kathy. Good job.